All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
1 second, baby.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
Am I the one with Sakura to crush me? No! No, you're not!
As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong?
I saw a shadow! Something moving around the top of the stairs!
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong?
That was a rather intense scream for someone like you.
I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Okay, I'm about to say, because I ain't doing that shit. Huh?
What was that? That came from the stairs. It must have been...
Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening.
Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository.
Forgive me, this is a good question to ask, but if someone wants to make an animation or something, you're saying you're gonna play DanganRonpa, like credit your voice, would you let them? Yeah, sure. That's fine. As long as you credit.
Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It
As it usually
certainly seems
tends to
to
be.
me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
I mean, they are a series of unfortunate events.
Haha.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
A contradiction is hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what.
Monaco file number 3. Let's listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Are we sure?
The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the
Numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Oh, wait.
It's
Oh,
true
damn it.
that Hifumi was while
Damn
Taka's
it.
death came.
See?
Okay, now it
So
fucking
it's
works?
obvious Taka came after.
Wait, hold on. Fucking absorbing? Okay, don't start absorbing.
You just have to hold it.
Oh, hold down. Got it. Thank it. My bad.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of
The numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi
Was killed with while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know
What order they were killed in. No, that's wrong.
Gotcha. Have you put cyanide Wild House? No.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi? That's also something that relates to what time he must have died.
Alright, I got this. Big word.
Gee, I wonder what it could be.
I'm making my mouse dance. Great. Nope. Dang it. There we go.
Now I understand.
It's a big word with big brain.
Especially for a tiny brain with
Taka's
like
wristwatch.
Makoto's.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night,
Hey, you! How long are you gonna keep us waiting? Yeah, we've already read all this, so just let's skip past it already.
Yep.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Again, we've already seen this. Skip.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct?
Not gonna lie, because I'm getting a more close-up of Celeste's outfit, at one point I actually wanted to wear that outfit. At one point.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, it would be so nice. If only fit a plus-size chick.
And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room.
Well, that's why we make one.
At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
The
That's
world's
true.
biggest mystery.
We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
And according to what Celeste
Pretty big.
said,
He's a fat fuck.
Hey! We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though.
So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time?
It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Without leaving any blood on the floor?
There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Right?
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Row, fight the power.
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
I say that
Are you
makes much
saying
more sense.
Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
the idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is that really possible?
Is it? Let's find out. Let's listen to the whole story.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I'm sure the body discovery announcement was only made once. But Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead. And you know that. Surely you heard the body.
Hifumi's dead body had... And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead. And you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's
dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong.
Gotcha.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail.
Spill it, you bear!
But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
So why did it play twice?
That didn't answer our question, man. We were asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
There you go.
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when...
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered! After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know!
Yes?
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
I mean, yeah.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
There is
Okay,
one
then.
thing.
Let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone.
Bryan knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Oh shit! I was just
And
trying
the
to
next
pick the
time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than
The change in
how it was positioned, there was no
notable difference.
Yes, there was.
No, that's wrong.
Got a last second.
Good job, baby.
Thank you.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Which I'm amazed considering that there would
I
still
found
be
the
some kind of
items used to
smear.
wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Tee.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
It was a cute mascot too.
I was saying there'd be some weirdo that'd be like, actually, it's an anime mascot.
One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth
see, I knew it!
used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean.
I knew there'd be someone that would say that.
Oh no.
And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
Oh shit! Bryan called me out.
I thought we should have done like the whole Joseph Joestar thing.
Oh no.
And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm
Jesus Christ.
saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But
Yes,
who would
it does.
benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Wiping my own glasses during this. Yeah, a second. My glasses are so dirty. Gross. Alright. Yeah, there we go.
The one who moved Taka's body was...
Taka himself!
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Dun dun dun!
Wait, what?
But that means he took part in the murders.
Dun dun dun!
I just can't believe it.
What happens when you push a nerd too far?
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
Right.
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka. Could it be?
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his... pants?
Yes, his pants.
They're so majestic. I mean, what?
Okay, well, forget about the pants.
Jesus Christ.
Take a look at what the note says.
Yeah, we've already read this. Is just...
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
Boy.
Someone...
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Me!
It was totally me.
I got
Hifumi's pants!
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.